The point of it is just to recap that I'm pleased with the paint, and if you want to do something like that on a budget, you don't have the money and you don't want to send it to Instrument Specialties and all that, get some cans of this. I used 2 cans. Okay, so here's what I used. I stripped it down bare metal. I did my body work. I didn't use self-etch primer or epoxy primer. I have that stuff, but I figured since it's not going to be in the elements, there's not going to be any moisture on it or whatever, that I'd be fine without using an epoxy or a self-etch. This is the primer that I used. All these paints that I bought for this project, for this dash project, I got from Home Depot, my local Home Depot. It was the only place I could find this textured black paint. I went to O'Reilly's, I went to Menards, Walmart, none of them had it except for Home Depot. All right, get back to this. I used 3.5 cans of primer. I really put a lot of primer on it, sanded it down with 240 on my orbital sander here. You know, and you can see as it kind of gummed it up a little bit. I could have probably let it dry a little longer. Basically, they say to let it dry for 48 hours. That's when it's fully cured. All right, here's a little update. Got the dash pad on from Classic, and got the, I don't know what you want to call that, trim panel on the dash for AC. That was kind of a pain, but moving on, I'm getting ready to, before I forget, my camera's not holding still on me, hold still for me. So before I forget, I'm going to put this map light, seat belt warning light in. And then I'm going to install the gauge cluster, and then I'm going to start, I still got to find this. I don't know where this went. Took it all apart last fall, or last summer I should say, and try to keep everything together. But that's where you want to pick one project and stay with one project. That's one of my big problems, is I bite off more than I can chew most of the time, and I gotta quit doing that. So, word of wisdom, or not really wisdom, but word from experience: just do one job at a time. It'll be much easier on you stress wise. Okay. The dash pad, it's definitely better than what it had, but I wouldn't recommend buying from Classic for their dash pad, just because nothing wrong with Classic. They have good customer service, but it's just a lot of money, and the company that actually makes the pad that you try to get the core from, I just think they're kind of shitty. Either they don't communicate well. I sent them a pad, my old pad, and never heard from them again. And you know, if they didn't want to give me the $160 core, fine. Just answer me back. Tell me, you know, oh, you know, your core is shit, or for whatever reason. But just to never hear from me again, it's kind of bullshit. So I heard a lot of good things about ABC dash pads. I kind of wish I would have went with them, but oh well. Anyways, this is the progress I've gotten so far. Not a whole lot, but I know from having this dash up together and apart several times, it's better to put the pad on while there's nothing in it. It's much easier to get to all the screws, put all those nuts on the screws for the pad. I tried taking it off. I tried doing the easy way when I took it apart the last time and take the dash pad off and leave everything else in it. And tell you what, it's just easier just to take it all apart, put the pad on, take the pad off, put the pad on, than it is to try to fight all the wiring and the ductwork, especially if you got an AC dash, fight all that stuff trying to get the pad on and off. And I've seen some people online that put the whole dash in, everything in the car, and then try to put the pad on. I don't understand why they would do that. It seems like a lot of work, you know, and standing on your head trying to get that, and you'd just be cussing the whole time. Also, my opinion, if you're going to do any major dash work, just take the dash out. This is yeah, there's a lot of disconnecting and things, but I think that the stress and everything, you know, would be a lot easier on you if you just take it out and work on it on the bench. I mean, this thing was in the factory. They were assembled completely and then put in the car. They didn't put the frame in the car and then assemble the dash. So, I mean, unless you're doing something minor, if you're going to do something major, just pull it out. You got 2 bolts on either side here. Basically, you just loosen these up, and then you got 4 on the top. You take the 4 on the top out, you loosen these ones on the sides, and then you just rock the dash. Okay, here's my next update. A couple hours into it. Of course, things, you know, never go quite as planned, but this I already knew was an issue, because I went from not having a radio at all. Well, take a step back. I had an aftermarket radio in the dash when I took it out that I had not put in. It was an aftermarket 8-track player. Didn't work anyways, and they cut the dash. If you can see that up there in the corner there. See that? That's the original one. They cut it. So I wanted to have the factory stereo, whether I used it or not. So bottom line was, I originally got this AM radio, and then I decided that I really wanted a cassette player and the multiplex stereo. So I found all that stuff. But anyways, I searched around, got a good deal, but it's missing the plugs. I got a plug for this, and then I got to come up with something for this. But anyways, whatever, it'll get me going. So got the ashtray put in. I got the bumpers put in for the ashtray and the glove box. Those were a pain in the ass. I got those aftermarket, and you know, you tug on the backside. You tug on the backside here and try to pull it through, but a couple of them busted off on me, and I was just barely, you know, you want to use a blunt object. You don't want to use like a pick or something. You'll just poke through it. So, got the wiring harness started. Like I said, I've had this in and out a few times, so I got a lot of it's labeled, and so now I just have to go back and connect all this stuff up, and then after that, you know, hopefully I'm doing this in the right order. I'll find out really quick, but I have to put all that in, the defrost, and the AC duct work, defrost duct work, hook up my vents, and then it should be pretty much ready to go in. I know I don't have a very good view, sorry. But anyways, it looks pretty daunting, but it's not too bad. This is the time where you want to go over all your wiring, make sure that triple check that you got it hooked up in the right spot, check all your bulbs. All these are new. I replaced all of them. However, excuse me, these take the same bulbs. No, I lied, I think. Anyways, these bulbs here, one of them was bad and the other one was missing, so I took one and put it in. Here's the package. They're a 757 bulb, so we got one of them working, one of them doesn't. I think that's right. Like I said, you want to double, triple check things, because the bulbs that have one wire going to them are different than the ones that have two wires. You definitely don't want to start an electrical fire or short shit out once you get it in the car. So this is just an update, and then I'll bring you back when it's all ready to go. And no matter how much you do to try not to scuff up your brand new paint job, it's gonna happen. It's already happened, and it makes you sick, but that's the realities of it all. If I actually had a fixture, had this bolted to a fixture where I could rotate it around and stuff, then yeah, it probably wouldn't happen. But I'm just your average guy doing the and then right there, see, I didn't even get paint on that. So I'm gonna have to touch up this dash anyways, but I can't believe I didn't get any paint on that. Wow. Well, that's how it goes. All right, well, I'm gonna keep screwing around with this, try to get it back together. This is not something I would want to do every day. It is a pain. Okay.